The future of work is automated. Welcome to Aivora.
In 2007, Crysis hit the world with a single visual trick so powerful it made every room feel real. Dark, soft shadows hugging the edges of walls and furniture. They called it screen space ambient occlusion. But here's the thing, the algorithm that made it possible was hiding a secret. It didn't actually understand the shape of corners. It was guessing, and often guessing wrong. Which means every game since has been building on a foundation that nobody told you was broken. So the question is, what exactly were these corners getting wrong, and why did we not notice for so long? Then in 2012, a graphics programmer named Chapman published a blog post with a blunt title, "Corners Don't Look Like That." It was a quiet nuke dropped into the game developer community. SSAO worked by sampling the depth buffer around each pixel. It would look for nearby surfaces and darken the pixel based on how much stuff was around it in screen space. Simple, fast, and utterly blind to real geometry. The truth is, real ambient occlusion depends on the opening angle of a corner. A tight crevice blocks more light than a wide corner. SSAO treated every sampled point as equal, flattening the world into a single blurry darkening. So what happened? In narrow concavities, SSAO applied too much darkness. In wide corners, not enough. And on flat walls near an occluding object, it often bled a halo of fake shadow that had no business being there. Chapman's post walked through the math. He showed that properly modeling a corner required knowing its internal angle, something entirely missing from screen space methods. The algorithm was literally shape blind. The hidden problem runs deeper. SSAO only sees what the camera sees. Step behind a pillar, and the algorithm forgets it exists. Real corners don't flicker based on your viewpoint, but SSAO shadows do. Yet the industry reacted fast. Horizon-based ambient occlusion appeared, sampling a full-depth horizon to approximate the visible sky per pixel. It was smarter, but still trapped in that flat screen. Then came screen space directional occlusion, adding light direction information. It could fake bounce light from nearby surfaces. Corners started to glow softly, as if lit from within. It was beautiful deception. Drop a like if this has surprised you so far. Because the real escape from screen space jail came with volumetric techniques like VXAO, which used voxel representations of actual geometry to compute corner shapes correctly at last. But the biggest leap arrived with ray tracing. Here's what I found: when you trace rays into a scene, you naturally know the angle of every corner. The math Chapman demanded became trivial. Corners finally looked like corners. So while early SSAO was a clever lie, it taught the industry to value ambient shadows enough to demand the real thing. Every generation after Crysis was a push toward the truth Chapman had already spelled out. The thing nobody tells you is that millions of gamers still play with SSAO enabled, watching fake shadows dance across corners every day. The misdiagnosis is so widespread we stopped seeing it. Even now, many indie games lean on simple SSAO because it's cheap and runs everywhere. The secret: you can fudge a lot if you tune the radius and intensity low enough to hide the corners that don't look like that. Place a real-world corner beside an SSAO rendering and the difference is stark. The real corner has a graded occlusion that varies with angle, the fake one is a uniform blob. And that's what Chapman proved with a few diagrams. If you're as fascinated as I am by the hidden geometry of everyday graphics, hit subscribe. I break down the invisible algorithms that build our digital worlds every week, one corner at a time. From the way light bounces off a wall to the code that makes it happen, there's a whole layer of reality most players never see. And I'm here to show it to you. Next up, we'll look at another screen space crime scene, screen space reflections. They're gorgeous until you tilt the camera 2 degrees and the world disappears. Subscribe so you don't miss when the mirror breaks.